Tesla released Q1 earnings yesterday. What is Elon up to now? Let's talk about it. All right, guys, Tesla reported earnings yesterday after the bell, and there were some maybe good things, if you want to say that, mixed in with bad things. But shares are up more than 10% following the Q1 earnings release, and they may move higher here. But Thomas, you are saying that investors should not expect a sustained rally here. Instead, they should only be expecting volatility. So what is this? I mean, you kind of referred to it as a relief rally. Can you tell us what you mean by that? And I guess what are the drivers with that?
Right. So this is totally a relief rally. The market has been selling off on fears of EV slowdowns and Tesla's inability to widen margin and price wars. And they was just waiting for any excuse to rebound and to rally. And so this is just a natural occurrence within what I see to be like a bear market. I don't see really anything good in the report except for some comments by Elon Musk and the company. All of these comments are really forward looking. There's a lot of big what ifs. I don't see them impacting results materially until like the middle of next year, if ever. So I think it's just a lot of smoke and mirrors on the part of Elon Musk, kind of pointing attention away from this year's weakness to what might be good next year. Next year is a real big maybe. I don't see this rally as being sustainable.
Okay, so let's talk about that some more. I mean, to some investors' excitement, Tesla said it's going to be accelerating the launch of some new vehicles. I mean, there's buzz about the Model 2 coming and some other new products, but there's not really a timeline for that. So yeah, as you said, I mean, could just be all talk. So I do want to talk about Elon in all of this. Obviously, it seems like he's trying very hard to control the narrative, of course. I mean, in the earnings call, it seems like he's stressing the fact that yes, Tesla does sell cars, but the ultimate goal for them is to become an AI robotics company. So what do you guys, what's your take on that? I mean, we've been talking offline about how it seems like Tesla, when things get bad, he says something to try to get the stock to pop. Tell us more about this.
Well, one of the things about an earnings report is that the CEO kind of has a captive audience, and that plays very well to what Elon does very well, which is it gives him an opportunity to lay out his vision for what he sees Tesla being. And if you're somebody that believes in that vision, that's very reassuring because that's what investors want to hear. They want to hear that there is a plan, and Elon will clearly lay out that plan. Now, the question is, the devil is always in the details. And Elon Musk has always struck me as somebody that doesn't necessarily pay strict attention to timelines and details when it's details that don't seem important to him in the moment. And that's where I think I agree with Thomas. This is ultimately, it's a relief rally because ultimately when investors have a chance to digest this earnings report, they'll find out that there's not much there in the short term.
Well, right. And just speaking like to the Model 2 specifically, right? This is something that's been in the
Yeah.
whispers, the wings, whatever, for years and years and years. Last year, they backburnered it. They've been trying to get a cheap car for all this time. I've been unable to produce one. Backburnered this program. Now all of a sudden it's back, and they're going to be able to produce it ahead of schedule. Yeah, right. Okay. So I don't discount that Elon will be able to do this, do
Right.
the AI, do the robotaxis. But when is the question? And between then and now, this year is going to be all about contracting revenue, tightening margins, and negative cash flow.
Imagine investing in the next big stock before it hits its peak. Our exclusive report, 7 stocks that could be bigger than Tesla, Nvidia, and Google, introduces you to the growth stocks set to skyrocket, offering unmatched returns for your investment. These aren't just any stocks, they're the carefully selected potential market leaders of tomorrow. Download this free report now to discover the next big superstars.
Yep.
Yeah, so it does seem like there's kind of a lot of lip service, let's say, about these new upcoming projects for Tesla. So I'm just kind of curious, like, how long do you guys think that this can kind of trail investors along? I mean, at some point, like 3 or 4 times that they hear this and it hasn't happened, are they going to drop off? Like, what do you guys picture? How long do you think Elon can keep this going like that?
Probably for a long time because he can produce and he does produce. Tesla
Yeah.
produces. It's great. It's a good story. one of these things will happen over the next year or 2 or 3 years. Which one, how many, how well is the question. So I think what we're talking about really here with Tesla, Chris might or might not agree, it's not so much the company so much as the market and Musk. There's the Elon Musk factor we've always talked about. There's his true believers. When he says jump, they're going to follow. When the company stumbles, the market will sell off, and it's going to be volatility until it regains traction, which might be next year. It might not be.
Yeah, I think Tesla, to me, it's kind of interesting because it's one of the most heavily traded stocks. I think that's fair to say, Thomas.
Oh, for sure.
But it's also, to me, the real value in Tesla, I suppose, is if you're taking a long position in the company. And if you're taking a long position, then I guess one quarter's earnings versus another quarter's earnings doesn't really matter, because you're banking on the fact that at some point Tesla is going to have its Nvidia moment. It's going to have its Microsoft moment, and it's just going to be one of these stocks that's going to be one of the stocks that you wish you would have bought at.
Well, right.
You should have bought at a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
Those people that are investing in Tesla with that value proposition can hang on for longer than any of us believe they can.
Right. But those people should be targeting dips, not chasing the price action. And today, if you're chasing price action, I think you might get whipsawed into a loss as early as tomorrow.
Correct.
Okay, so now we have seen a mix of reactions from analysts, with many lowering their price targets. So how should investors read into these kind of varied options or opinions, excuse me?
Right. So I think with the analysts, their response kind of aligns with the whole idea of volatility. They're very mixed, some up, some down. Was an upgrade, I think, and some downgrades. So it's like they're not totally sure what's going on. We've got some people poo-pooing today, some people cheering for tomorrow. But what we're really seeing, I think, is that range is narrowing, right? We're in the discovery, like long-term discovery of Tesla, what it's worth. There's always been a big wide range of analyst targets, and that range is slowly contracting and shrinking. And sooner or later, it'll get narrowed down to the point where this is what Tesla is worth. And then we can say, okay, now they're going to start to regain traction again. Now we can actually have a sustainable rally. But until then, I think that we're still just looking at volatility.
Yeah, I think you make a really good point, Thomas, about valuation, because I think investors have known for a long time that Tesla is an overvalued car company.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, right.
But Tesla's always said we're more than a car company. Elon Musk stressed that in the earnings report last night, that it's a tech company. I think the problem for investors right now is that some analysts are starting to say, okay, fine, you're a tech company, but you're an overvalued tech company.
Right.
And now it's up to Tesla to prove that thesis wrong.
Right. And that's the whole thing about being a car company is like they're more than a car company. They're an ecosystem, but it's a transportation ecosystem that relies on cars. So it's a car company, right? So.
All right, so given the volatile nature of Tesla stock and kind of the speculative elements of its valuation, we kind of touched on this, but what should investors realistically expect in terms of stock performance and the company's growth? And let's say the short to medium term here.
Short term, for sure, volatility. I don't see a sustained rally. Medium term, we might see that volatility result in a bottom. Right now, the stock is kind of trading at a solid support level. You might want to target that to buy into the stock. But I think that you would want to wait for the short to medium term to see how that plays out, because there's also a kind of a downtrend in play over the last 6 or 8 months that could take it to a new low. So really, this is a wait and see time for me, I think.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in on Tesla's Q1 earnings update here and what lies ahead for the company. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below on what we covered today, from investor reactions to future strategies, and what you think about how Tesla plans to navigate this landscape. For more updates and detailed analysis, stay tuned right here at MarketBeat. Until next time, we'll talk soon.